Just even walking through these hawkers, you know, it's bustling, there's so much life. Whoa! Yes! This is what I'm after.
Welcome to Singapore, a place which perfectly blends Eastern and Western culture, history, and most importantly, food.
This is so good! How do you make this?
In this video, I'll be taking you with me on my food adventures to try out all types of hawkers from the least known to the most prestigious.
I just can't believe that I'm here, first of all.
My aim is to see if popularity really makes a real difference, so be sure to stay to the end of the video to see my final thoughts. We start out in Chinatown, a place dedicated to Eastern produce and culture. Here you'll find wet markets, which can be a culture shock for some, or in my case, curiosity.
Mum makes amazing stew with some of the fish.
Conveniently, the first hawker location we are at is right above the wet markets called Chinatown Complex. If I had a location for choice paralysis, this would be a top contender.
You can dead set stay in one of these hawkers for about a year, try every single thing, and I reckon you still have more food to try. There's so many here.
Our first stop is Old Master.
We got the roast pork, we got the roast duck. I'm gonna give this a go. Got a bit of chili sauce as well. Oh, and just look at that pork. Look at that pork. This looks like soft bone as well. I think we can actually bite into this. And then the duck. Oh, I cannot wait to try some of this stuff out. You got the rice with the sauce already braised in. That looks fluffy. That looks yummy. That looks salty. It just looks like pure perfection. Let's give this a go, eh? Alright, I'm gonna try the rice first. There's plenty of soy sauce flavor in there, and it's gonna absorb all that meaty juices really well. So I'm really keen for everything to go by itself. Alright, let's give this a go. The pork is less on the fatty side and it's more on the muscly side, but it's not dry. It's actually really juicy for the muscle and the less fat part of the pork. It has a bit of crackling, which is good, but the fat is quite nice. I'd say it's overall solid. It doesn't outstand anything, but it's really good. All right, so the next one we're gonna have is we're gonna try the duck. Let's have a case of that. Ooh. That looks good. All right, let's give this a go. I would say like same thing with the pork. The duck isn't fatty, so you're not gonna get that melt in your mouth kind of feeling and taste. The meat is not dry, so nothing I've had is really dry. And that's probably because there's like a lot of sauce around it, and it's cooked in its own fat and juices. But the flavor is quite nice. It's very clean. So when you keep eating this, you don't feel like you're too heavy on the stomach, which is, you know, awesome. I think it definitely needs some chili sauce, which is exactly what I'm gonna do. Pork with the chili sauce and ginger, let's go. The spicy ginger sauce definitely adds another layer of complexity to the dish. I really like the ginger inside, and it pairs well really nicely with the fatty meats, and to give it a little bit of dimension to the flavor, which is really cool. I'm gonna move on to the duck next and see if that changes anything. Same thing. Because the meat is already quite muscly and fibrous, it doesn't melt in your mouth, so you don't really need the acid, but it does add another layer, which is really nice. I lied. The bones are not chewable. Don't eat the bones. I mean, you can. It's just gonna take a bit of work. Solid effort if you want a quick easy meal in Chinatown.
Let's move on to our highly anticipated Hawker Chan. Earning its Michelin star in 2016, it once boasted the cheapest Michelin star rated food in the world, coming in at only around $3 US. Although in 2021 it was no longer featured in the Michelin star guide, nevertheless it was still exciting to try it out.
Alright guys, so Hawker Chan in front of us, pork, nudes, rice, the chicken, some greens on the sides as well. I'm gonna try the lemon yuzu drink first. That yuzu is really refreshing. Definitely goes down really well. I'm just gonna try the rice first. That's pretty good. Let's give the chicken a go. That is a lot of white meat, I must say. First Michelin star food ever. Let's give it. Oh, what is that? That's chicken? That is such good chicken, my god. The texture of the chicken is so soft and so moist. That soy sauce chicken is a must. Yes, definitely come here. Grab the soy sauce chicken. I'm gonna add a bit of chili sauce onto that bite next. Like all chili sauces and all the chicken rice I've had, adds that extra layer, depth of flavor into the meal. Pretty good. Gonna move on to the next one. So this is the pork and nudes. Make sure that all that Noodle is covered. Let's try the noodles first. The noodles are really thin, and so when you're slipping it up, it does capture a lot of the broth at the bottom, and it's really easy to eat. It's very silky. So I think it's silky from a lot of the oil and the sauce as well, but you can easily put this down. It's, yeah, it feels really nice. Pork just looks really good. Let's go. Oh my god. That pork has just the perfect amount of ratio of fat, of lean meat, of a little bit of char, and the crispiness of the skin as well. That's perfection. That pork is amazing. That pork is so good. That surprised me the most. I'm trying some of the cucumbers. It's refreshing. It's a little bit sour. Got a bit of vinegar, and I think it's shallots on the top. You pay $5 for the chicken rice, and you pay $3.80 for the cucumbers. You're better off getting the chicken rice for more flavor. This is just a side. Not bad, not bad.
There is a reason why Hawker Chan was in the eyes of the Michelin Guide. The quality of their food at such a ridiculously cheap price is hard to pass. The texture of their chicken and pork was something out of a high-class restaurant. We have one more place to try before giving our final thoughts. If you like what I'm doing or found this video enjoyable, the best way to support this channel is to stay till the end of the video. So thanks again for your support in advance. Now back to the content. We move on to our third and final destination called Maxwell Food Center. Here, there are three things I wanted to try: chicken and rice, roasted pork, and roasted duck. For our chicken and rice, I'll let my former happier self explain.
Well guys, we have the chicken and rice right in front of us. We got two types. We got Tian, the one that was most famous for. Everyone knows Tian here in the Hawkers. And you can even tell because they have two stores right next to each other. That's how big they are. That's how popular they are. I'm pretty sure it's because they've been graced, blessed, baptized by the one and only Anthony Bourdain. Anyways, the other place that we had, Tong, Fong, Fatt, Hainanese chicken rice. The only reason why is I wanted to try out some of the other hawkers around the area, because when you go to one with the most famous one, maybe there's something else, a hidden gem that gets overshadowed. Let's give it a go. So the first one here is Tian. You can see that the chicken's on the rice and you have the soy sauce. In terms of Tong Fatt, what they do is they do it separately. They put the rice separately to the chicken. I'm not sure if that's just their strat, but we do get a bowl of soup, so look, Tong Fong is already on top of me because we already got more just by default. And they're around the same price as well. So we're going to start off with the soup at Tong Fong out here because they're the only ones that give us soup. There's a really nice strong cabbage flavor in here, but the broth is really clear, as you can see. This is what I really like now, because some of the other chili sauces that I've had, it doesn't have enough ginger into their sauce, so I think they give us separately in case you wanted more ginger. Yo, Tong Fong is already thinking of what I like. Now just look at this chicken. How can you make something look so good for $3.50, eh? Okay, let's try the chicken first because that's what we're here for. Chicken and rice. Put that in. Alright, just chicken by itself. The meat is so clean, so silky. There's no bones in this one as well. When you go through the entire one, it's completely boneless. So you're gonna have a much easier time eating this stuff. That's really good so far. Amazing. All right, let's try their rice. Good flavor. Good flavor on the rice. The last thing I ever want is my rice not to be flavored with chicken broth. That's not this one. Tong Fong definitely has some chicken broth in there. Time to try it all together. Oh, that's good. That chicken rice flavor, it just adds another layer of chicken flavor into the chicken itself. There's a bit of light soy sauce on the outside as well. And so I think that's just to lightly season this stuff. Yep, this is good chicken rice. Okay, so now we're going up to the hype. This is where the hype train goes up. Let's see if Tian is exactly what everyone says it is. So starting out, you have the chicken. Oh, that is really nice. This is also boneless as well. You can see there's a bit of light sauce on the rice and some vegetables as well. Let's just try the chicken by itself. So the main difference I've seen so far in terms of the two chickens, the Tong Fong chicken has more flavor in terms of sweetness because I'm pretty sure there's more sauce. And in terms of Tian, it's more silkier because of the chicken itself. I'm not sure if they cook it differently or if they prepared it differently, but I think that's what's the case. So if you want more flavor, I think Tong Fong's chicken actually might be better. But in terms of texture, the silkiness is definitely Tian. Tian's definitely got the silkiness on par. Next up is the rice. Let's get the rice a go. The exact same thing. So Tong Fong has more flavor in the chicken rice, only just by barely, whereas the rice in Tian is a lot more subtle, and I think it's a lot more cleaner to eat. All right, big bite, Tian.
Let's break it down. Tian is silky, subtle, and probably the best quality chicken and rice you'll find here in the hawker center. It's made for the masses and palatable for practically anyone who wants to try chicken and rice. Tong Fong is a slight take on the same item with more flavor and sauce customization.
I don't think there's a clear winner here. I think that if you prefer more flavor, you go Tong Fong. If you want a balanced, cleaner flavor, you go Tian.
Next and finally is our roasted meats at Fuzhou Shao.
Oh my goodness gracious, this is exactly what I'm going for. We are getting the roasted porks and the roasted duck. All right, the first thing we're starting out with is the duck. Look at that glaze. Look at that sauce. Oh, so I got the duck noodle because I want to try their noodles and their duck meats. But then I also want to try some of their char siu as well as their roasted pork. And look at that crispiness of that skin. Oh, and it's so juicy and moist out here. That glistening rice. Yo. So let's start with the duck. Oh Lord. Look how juicy that duck looks. And the noodles as well. I want the sauce to be enveloped into all the noodles. Right, I'm just gonna get a standalone duck piece. All right, duck first, let's go. Oh my goodness gracious. That roasted duck has so much charred flavor in it. There's a hint of bitterness in the sauce or if it's the skin. This is amazing duck. Well worth the wait. That was 100% worth the wait. I'm amazed. All right, let's get these noodles in. Let's put the whole blob. Oh my god, these noodles are so bouncy. It's so textured. When you chew it, it just envelops all, like your entire mouth. It just wants to fill every space in your mouth. That's how good this is. This is exactly what I think about when I think of egg noodles, this flavor. But oh my goodness gracious, that is a work of art. I don't know why this is not number one in this hawker. We still have one more dish to try. And that is the rice with pork. So the rice is just glistened. It's just been taken over by all the sauce. And if you just jump in there, there's a better rice because it's just absorbed all of that juice. You have the pork here. You have the pork here. Oh, look at that fat content. That fat ratio right there. Let's start off with the pork. This just looks so amazing. I can't even deal with this. This is just too good. Oh, let's go. This little store with two uncles doing magic in the back of that kitchen. That is unreal. So first things first, the flavor. Huge porky flavor. Texture. There's such a good layer of fat and muscle ratio in this meat, and there's a char at the bottom as well. I don't know if it's the pork itself or if it's a young pork, but that crackling is really thin and light and airy. That pork is so amazing. Wow. Alright, gonna get the pork, get the vegetables in. I'm gonna take this entire bite right here. Alright, let's get this bite going. Whoop. Rice is really saucy, adds more flavor bomb into the rest of the dish. The best thing about all this is it retains all of the flavor of the pork.
If you couldn't tell by my reaction in the video, Fuzhou Shao has got to be one of the best hawkers serving roasted meats in all of Singapore.
It's just before 12, but I'm eating all this for breakfast, and I don't feel heavy at all.
Their meat quality is exceptional, the taste is off the charts, and with such friendly uncles like this, who wouldn't want to go back?
This is so good. How do you make this? It's incredible what they can do with this. It's so cheap. It's awesome. I mean, I feel really at home.
I give this an easy recommendation for those who want to try good roasted meats.
The one thing that I've always wanted to try was an oyster cake. I actually have no idea what's inside, but I saw Auntie frying it up and grilling it in, just chucking it in, and she's made like a lot of batches already, so I'm sure that they do go around quite quickly. But in terms of the price, this is $2 for one oyster cake. Get some scallions at the bottom, and I'm sure there's oysters at the bottom there. All right, let's try this out. It's gonna be really hot. All right, so what you can see inside, you taste the crispiness of the shell, and the batter's really light and easy to eat, but it has so much flavor in that batter. It's so savory. It might be because of the oysters or something else in there, but I think the other savory part is the pork. So there's pork in the middle, which really gives it that nice savory flavor on something that would normally just be oily and battery. There's prawns in here, there's prawns, there's scallions, and yeah, I was right. I think it's a cashew nut to add more crunch and texture. This is a really good snack. I could probably pump like 5 of those just really quickly.
So what's the verdict? At the end of the day, it all does come down to preference. I feel like everyone will have their own personal favourite dishes, and the beauty of Singapore hawkers is that you can go out and find exactly which one you like the most.
This one little store has just made me, it has just validated everything I've felt about food and about travelling so far.
If you love food and want to see some of my other work, be sure to click around the floating windows provided. But until then, take care all, I'll see you in the next one.